Hey guys, Todd from Great Escape Farms here. In the fall, I did a video on winterizing the hardy bananas. Today, I'm going to do a video on preparing the hardy bananas for spring. So what I did for winterization, in case you didn't see that video, is I have bags of leaves stacked too high. So there's one row going all the way around and it goes all the way through. So it's not just like it's circling the wagon. I have all the way across. Bags of leaves, and then on top I have a second bag of leaves. And then what I did is I grabbed leaves from around the yard and I filled in all the holes, and then I took the tops of the bananas and laid it across so the leaves didn't blow around. So the whole purpose of this is to increase the hardiness of them. They are hardy to zone 7, but a lot of times they die right back down to the ground and come back up. This will actually, in zone 7, allow them to start up a little bit higher, and I'm hoping that out at the farm I can get them to survive in zone 6, because that's what my farm is, zone 6. So when I move out to the farm, I'll be doing the same thing out there. But anyhow, back to what I'm doing right now is, this is springtime, so I'm going to be taking the stuff off the top, removing the bags of leaves. All of the leaves are going to go out to the farm, and I'll use those for mulch out there. So all this work is not going to go to waste. I'm going to use every bit of it. Let's see, let me go ahead and pull this stuff off, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, so we have it all cleared away here. You can see all the bags of leaves are gone, well, except for the one in the back, but I'll be adding some more to that. So here's what we're left with. You can see this one right here is already popping up through the center, and I have two in the back right there that are. Some of these others are gonna need trimming though. So those popping up in the back there, that would not have happened if we didn't have the mulch around it, all the leaves mulching it up. So although that's only about somewhere between 24 and 30 inches tall, that'll add many feet to the overall height, because it has a lot more to start with as far as the girth going around, as well as the height going up and down. Okay, so what I'm going to do right here is, I can actually see it right there. I have the leaf, so I'm going to cut off the rotten part right here, and using a razor and X-Acto knife, I'm just going to come straight up like that, and just for aesthetics I can pull that away, and I'll just go ahead and leave that be right there. It's not going to cause any problem. Later on this summer I'll go ahead and get rid of the rest of it. Now, this one, let me see how far back we are here. I don't feel anything into the center here, so go right here, and what I'm doing is I'm just going to cut straight across. And this one, I'm not seeing any life there. Pull it back a little further. Okay, so you can see, I hope you can see the discoloration here that is discolored down to right here, and then I have a good color in the center there, so that means that I'm alive in the center here. So that's what I'm looking for, is where we're alive. And just peel this right back. Right there. Okay, and toss all my debris aside here. Actually, you could go ahead and mulch with this, but just for aesthetics, I'm gonna toss it aside. I will actually use it as mulch, but I'll use it as mulch out in the farm. So for these, I'm just gonna leave them be. I can trim off a little bit more later. See how far back we go on this one. Go down to about right here. And just pull it off like that. Again, I'll just leave the rest. I can trim this up for aesthetics later, but for right now, I'm just going to leave it be. And as far as the aesthetics down low here, the majority of this you're not actually going to see, because they'll have leaves going over, and you're not going to see too much in the center at all. Let's take a look at this big guy here. I can just tell by feeling. Up here, we're definitely rotted, not rotted, but we were frozen all the way through there. I can squeeze it. So I'm gonna come down about a foot off the ground here and try this one. So you can see right here that I'm good in the centerpiece up to here, but I could have gone up a little bit higher, but I'll just go ahead and do it right here. I've already started. And that one's good to go. One more thing I meant to tell you was you don't want to leave this flat on the top. They're going to bleed a little bit. You get a little bit of water coming out on them, so we want to put that at an angle. So right now it's flat. The water will sit here and it will actually rot. So what we want to do is about a 30 or a 45 degree angle coming down here like this. A little bit more on the bottom here. And that way when it bleeds or when we get water, it will just go ahead and fall right off there. So that's what we want to do with all of these as we trim them. I'm about half done here. I've done the ones to the right. The ones to the left here I still need to do. Just wanted to show you a little bit here. So there's mess. I just toss it behind me. I'll go ahead and pick all that up. And again, recycle that. And these up here, you can see I didn't do too much trimming on that one and this one right here. These I cut off. Let's see if I can get a better angle on what I'm talking about. There you go. So you can see it's cut at an angle here. So up at the top, it doesn't matter as long as it can flow down, and it is somewhat at this direction. Now I'm steep here, so that I don't pull up with liquid at the top. And I did clean them up a little bit. You see I cleaned this one up to that point. You'll notice this one looks kind of white. I just cut that. These right here look kind of brown on top, and that's because I cut them yesterday. So they'll get almost totally brown over here. And in a couple of days to a couple of weeks, depending on how much sunshine and how hot it gets, you'll start seeing the center pop up. So the outer rings here will never ever grow up anymore. It'll come from the center and kind of grow out from there. So you always have this little stub at the bottom here, and again, that can be cleaned up later on in the spring or summer as time goes on. So you'll see this one right here, and you notice there's a lot of water here, or a lot of fluid coming up, and that's normal, and it's kind of a brownish color because this one was done yesterday. And that's why we cut it at the angle, so the fluid can run off and doesn't pool there and rot it out. Okay, so this part of the project is done. I have everything trimmed, picked up, or as picked up as is going to be. On this side over here, I had some tall ones, but I also had a couple that I had to cut almost right down to the ground. You can see I have a little bit of life right here in the center, but the rest of it is rotted around, and another one right here, same thing. So it's okay, go ahead and cut it back. The main thing you want to do is get all the stuff off of the top that's curled over and all, that would prevent it from coming up from the center. Remember, it grows from the center. So that's what I wanted to do, is just cut the stuff off so it can grow up from the center, and I'll deal with trimming the outside later. So that's it for this half of the project, and that's it for this video. So now I get to go over here and do the same thing for that patch over there. So one other thing I did want to point out is that patch right there and this one right here started with one banana right there in the center, and they just kind of spread through rhizomes, and I have well over a dozen right here, and same with the other areas. So I put these in spring of 2005. I actually bought it from a place called Spring Hill Nursery called Hardy Banana. So worked out pretty good for me in zone 7 here in the mid-Atlantic in the Baltimore Annapolis area. So that's it for this video. Please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel, and have a wonderful day.